In the metals quadrant, taking a look at the February gold futures contract, gold has an up session today, a small bounce, although not a very impressive one. While we did have a small gap higher, preliminary volume indicates the lowest levels of overall volume since about January 4th. The low today, 2007.70 cents. That was a small gap higher from yesterday's low of 0.06%. Very small gap higher. On the high today, $2019.90. That was up 2/3%. We finished the day close to 0.6% higher. Now, though today technically ended up being an inside range day, it is unlikely to be strong enough to reverse the trend that has driven gold lower since the swing high close of December 27th to today, which is a total move lower of just under 3.6%, including today's up move. Now, geopolitical tensions came into play, hotspots around the globe added to the small move higher in gold. The U.S. continued launching strikes on Yemen's Houthi rebels targeting 14 missile sites last night, and hours later, Pakistan launched missiles against militants in Iran. This is all according to Time magazine online. This tension is likely why gold had any bid at all, considering the move in U.S. yields and the dollar, and both of those moves were up. The dollar was strong. The U.S. dollar rally continued for a fourth straight session with yields moving higher again. Now, the dollar was stronger by 0.5% against the Swiss franc, 1/3% against the New Zealand dollar, and 1/4% against the euro. And then looking at the yen, the sterling, the Canadian dollar, and the Aussie dollar, the US dollar was only slightly above the unchanged level. And as we know, gold and the dollar has a typical inverse relationship that didn't really come into play today. Same inverse relationship typically with U.S. yields, but yields were up across the board except the 2-year, which remained unchanged through most of the day. But the 5-year was up 2 basis points, the 10-year up 4 at 4.14%, the 30-year up 6 basis points at 4.37%. So all of that would have been a headwind for gold, but gold still finished the day slightly higher with that small bounce that I mentioned earlier.